This Food City 500 NASCAR Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. And for those of you who have stuck around, thank you very much. It's a late night edition of the live version here of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Cody, you know those days when everything you plan just sort of goes haywire and nothing goes the way you expect it to?
Yeah, it's been that way the entire day. And then even in the last 5 minutes, I go to fire up the computer. Oh, now it's time for an update. Okay, great. So we got to sit and wait for the update. Then I log into StreamYard here and sorry, we can't use your microphone or your video. And just some days, they're trying to stop us, Rod. They know we got the winning picks this week, but we will not be stopped. A little bit of a later show. We're just prepping you guys for next week. I'd want to see what next week's schedule looks like, Rod, but I don't know if you've looked ahead. It is Easter next week. No Cup Series, but we will have Trucks and Xfinity at Rockingham. So they're each going to get their own shows. Want to see when odds come out for those races. But Bristol, let's go.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. Yeah, and then the books decide they want to go ahead and be early with the odds on the day because we had this planned out. Just so you know, guys, we had this planned out to be a later show earlier in the week because we knew there were some scheduling issues that were going on, and so we were like, okay, well that's fine because normally we're fighting the odds anyways, right? No, they knew it. See, they're playing this cat and mouse game with us, Cody, but we're not going to let them win.
That's right. We're not going to let them win, and that's all right. But going all the way back. Little Joker was in the chat a while ago when we maybe originally scheduled this. Put the word out. We back up, ready for Bristol. Dirty Reg was checking in earlier. Mike was wondering when we were going to start. Little Joker said April 8th of 2026. And Mike was all alone, and then he tosses out. I haven't felt this way since my dad left, saying he was going to take the dog for a walk and he'll be back. We didn't have a dog. He was just joking, but.
Fun fact about that, though,
he's back.
He is back. Thank God. No, my daughters love to pull the whole we're going out for milk thing, just like Mike was talking about. He's like, if I say, hey, I'm going to go to the store, I need to grab some milk. They're like, goodbye, Dad. We'll miss you. And then, hopefully you come back. And that's the running joke in our house. Sorry if that's happened to you. I'm not being insensitive.
Yeah, it's funny unless it's happened to you.
Exactly.
But hopefully, Andrew checking in, greeting and salutations.
What's up, Andrew?
And Rye Cape checking in as well. Hey. We're live. What up, Rye?
We are. Are you live, Rye? I'm saying I'm waiting for you to go live.
Here. He's live.
I know. Yeah. He's live. We're live. But yeah, so today we're talking about Bristol. Of course, the Cup Series going to Bristol. No dirt races anymore. Everything's on asphalt. We don't have to worry about the nonsense of capping a dirt race.
Well, Bet365 thought yesterday that there was. It was interesting because they had odds listed both for the Bristol dirt race and the Food City 500. They were the same odds, but they had both races listed, and I was like, interesting.
Yeah. Well, to me, this is like one of those things where you sometimes just copy and paste the wrong thing. I've been there. Believe me, I have been there for sure. Where you're just like, oh, That was from a couple of years ago. In fact, that just happened to me. I'm in charge of my unit's newsletter, and I got a copy of what was supposed to come out this weekend, and it was from 2022. And I was like, hey, I think you sent me the wrong shell. She said, oh, I was just testing you, and you passed. And I was like, oh, thanks. That's perfect. So, yeah, I know exactly how that is. But, folks, hello, friends. How are you guys doing out there? Let me tell you right now that Augusta is right around the corner, and SGPN is back with Splash Sports for a big contest, up to $30K in prizes and only a $25 entry fee. Get in today at splashsports.com/SGPN. Splashsports.com/SGPN. Tune in to the Golf Gambling Podcast, the Steffi Smalls Show, which, by the way, I'm going to be a guest tomorrow talking about NFL draft. Let's see if I know what the hell I'm talking about. So make sure you turn into that show. Anyways, and bottom line, bombs for all of your Masters picks. Yeah, Cody, I'm going to be on Steffi Small Show tomorrow at 3, which is why I was saying that we may need to push back again tomorrow's show. So
nice. What do you guys? So what topics are you talking about? Football talk or what?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about the NFL draft, and I'm going to be saying how I do not think that the Tennessee Titans need to take a quarterback, especially one that lost in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I don't think they need that kind of.
I don't think the Tennessee Titans will take a quarterback. I think they're bluffing and trying to trade that pick by all this Cam Ward stuff. If they do hold that pick, they are not going to take a quarterback. So. I've got some more NFL draft stuff coming out for the website this week as well. So stay tuned for that. Our buddy James Rowland checking in. BW is due for one of these years. PS, bring back Bristol Dirt in 26. I thought last week was the week. We had the outright on him. He looked so fast, and then he just disappeared. It was very strange. Not a good week for the Bubba Wallace. One and done, unfortunately. But I am on board to bring back Bristol Dirt. I love going to the dirt track with James and hanging out there. Rise got us he's on vacation. Where are you vacationing at? And he says we're about to be on the Bar TV. So hello to the Bar. Shout out to them.
Bar. Hey, cheers out there to all of you guys watching.
There you go.
For my cape.
JDK says he got a retweet from Ryan at iFantasy. Hell yeah, there you go. He's been putting in some good work. Little Joker saying the Titans need to draft everything from a new quarterback to a new water boy.
I hear Bobby Boucher is out there.
You might not be wrong. Frederick, or is it Frederick? Yeah, Frederick checking in. 17, 11, 12, 9, and 5. Yeah, that's about the chalk right there. And we'll be talking about a lot of those guys. So
yeah, we will.
Mike saying NASCAR God's broomstick and Blaney. Feel bad for the guy. Yeah, he'll be fine.
I've seen that story though. That whole thing that's going around where they were talking about how the race is rigged and the green flag stops or whatever. I don't, Oh, they cheered for my beer glass, which by the way, if you're listening, this one was given to me. It's a Hooters beer glass.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I know, right? Chase Elliott style. Given to me on my 23rd birthday by the folks at Hooters. So
long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Jesus Christ, a long time ago. But all right. Is there any other news that we need to touch on before we get to? I haven't really seen.
Yeah, it's been fairly quiet, I think, on the news front. The only news I have, Ty GIbbs is back. Got cashed our top 10 bet last week. We're going to be talking about him some more tonight. This is the week, Rod. I've been calling it all off season. Get ready for Ty GIbbs week in the NASCAR Cup Series. Oh, I'm so excited. I
can't, Cody. I tried. I did. And to Ty GIbbs fans out there, I tried. I tried to back him up. But okay, great. He did good last week. That's outstanding. You know what? Every once in a while, I do good too, but that doesn't make me a good person anymore. Like that ship has sailed. I'm not there anymore. But yeah, honestly, there's really nothing else to talk about.
I think there's not. So we can probably just get right into the picks, which I like. Little Joker said use Priest last week, starts second. You're like, all right, things look good. Disappointment there. He did not have a good finish. Frederick had the 24 and the 20 last week. It was going great. ... Until it wasn't. And yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
You know, that's the thing, Cody. I really do miss the recap show because there was so much that I wanted to say about that. Well, I had Byron as an outright, and I was looking good for 200 or 2,000 laps of that.
Just dominant. Like, we almost saw the perfect race. More rare than the perfect game in baseball. Like, he was about to lead it wire to wire. They messed that up. Then we got all the excitement at the end that was kind of crazy, and Dennis comes out on top once again. But yeah, pretty it was a fun, entertaining race, I think.
Little Joker knows it. Tried to back
here comes
him
those GIbbs fans at you, Rod. Tried to back him up. Yeah, sure you did.
Hey, I didn't say how long I tried. I just said I tried. All right, we are back at Bristol, the Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee, set for 500 laps around this 0.533 mile paved track for 266.500 miles of beating, of banging, of tempers, of all the fun that you've come to expect of short track racing. And yeah, we are here for it, baby. It's Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, baby. We've got a couple of open cars entering this week. 39 cars entered. Jesse Love, I believe this is his first career Cup Series start for Jesse Love in that 33 car for RCR. Josh Bilicki's back in the 66. And that's right, friends. We're stacking pennies. Corey LaJoy is back in the 01 car. 16-1 top 10 honorable mention. I left it off the card. I will personally be betting it. Had a top 15 finish here just a couple of seasons ago. I think he could do it again.
Corey LaJoy. Although, listen, I will say this, though. I absolutely love, I didn't mean to go that route, but I guess I'm there. I love the fact that Love's getting a shot at the Cup Series. But what I love more than anything, Cody, is that as we start to watch these guys that we targeted early on, right before they started to blow up and before they started to really get good in the Xfinity Series, I mean, here they are. They're starting to make their presence known in the Cup Series, and we're starting to see these guys. I mean, even Riley Herbst, who's kind of gotten a bad rap lately, just being that third Trackhouse car that hasn't been doing well. But at the same time, still not bad, right? A 2311 car that's not doing bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wait, Trackhouse 2311. They're the same to me. Remember?
Rod always confuses Trackhouse and 2311, but it's still. I saw some people dogging on Herbst the other day, like, "Oh, he's got to go. Like he hasn't done anything." We're 8 races into his rookie season. It's a brand new team. The third team at 2311 is brand new this year. Brand new car. Brand new everything. To expand to 3 teams is all new. He's a new driver. We've not had a repeat type of track yet. Again this week, we're going to another new track. Like, give him some time to settle in. It's going to be fine. I know we all want Corey Heim in that car, or Kyle Busch more preferably, but Riley's going to be just fine. So, yeah, it's and little Joker bringing up, doesn't understand the choice for Love to debut here, hasn't run great at Bristol in the other series. Maybe that's why you throw him into the fire and let him get his feet wet, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if there's a specific reason for that. Might have been when sponsors wanted to be on the car. Might have been a track that he just personally likes, even though he hasn't run well. Who knows?
Or it could be a nice little reward for the way he's been performing lately in the Xfinity Series and say, hey, listen.
Maybe they love the performance he's had so far and wanted to put him in the car. The problem with Love is it's too easy to love the puns that you can throw out there, and that makes it difficult.
Is it because it's late at night? I feel like this is the NASCAR Gambling Podcast After Dark. This is where you got to. I feel like I need to turn the lights down low and get a little bit a little dark in this place. But
wow. No, that's fancy. I have no control over my lights. That's why I always look so washed out. I'm not this white in person, but
I shouldn't have control of my lights. That's all there is to it. And then for those of you who are listening on the traditional podcast, sorry, this is us getting a little bit a little bit wonky out there. All right, we'll start breaking down some bets. We promise we won't be playing with our lights anymore. But first, I want to tell you and ask you: have you ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet? Yeah, Cody's already done that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That happened to you right before you were going to place a 75-1 on somebody to win.
Yep.
Well, then, if you ever needed cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but you hit your ATM limit, oof, got to tell you right now. I'll tell you this. I experienced my first issue with this when I was finally in Virginia, finally in a legal betting state. I had downloaded the Caesars app. I was getting ready to place my bet for the outright there at the race that was going on that weekend. I had it nailed. We had it handicapped. We talked all the way about it. Start to go to put in my deposit. Denied. My bank did not like that I was trying to put money into a Caesars account in Virginia. They did not believe that I was there. They did not believe that I tried to do it, and they blocked it. And guess what? I should have won that bet because I would have cashed, and I would have cashed very nicely. Would have paid for pretty much the rest of the trip there, but no, could not do it. Guess what? Edge Boost has your back, my friends. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. With Edge Boost, all your gambling-related transactions will always be approved with no more headaches. And for you high rollers out there, not me, but for you, if you're a high roller, you can move up to $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. And it gets better. Every time you deposit into a qualified gambling account, you can earn cashback rewards up to 0.5%. All this and no usage fee and no minimum balance. It's a bank account. It's not a credit card, so there's no approval required or credit checks. Finally, Edge Boost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to www.edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. That's www.edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Sign up for Edge Boost today. We're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to place a bet on every sport, including the Masters, plus props for every single game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. Totally loving right now, again, this ability to bet on the Australian Rules Football League. It is such a fantastic and 1,000% fun thing to do. I think you need to go check it out because for me, there just isn't any better than watching first of all, the referees give the goal signal. If you haven't watched one of those, you are in for an absolute treat. This week, it's back again. Let's go pick on my favorite team over there in Melbourne. They are 2.5-point underdogs to the Essendon Bombers. Give me the Bombers though. I love me some Melbourne, but I still think the Bombers are going to take this one. So, go ahead and give me that one plus the points, and I love it. So, all right, all of that good stuff happening over there on MyBookie. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. That is the first time in the history of this show that I have outlasted the bed music.
Which I'm really surprised it's the first time, if we're going to be honest. But congratulations.
Thank you. I've done my company proud, and now, my friend, searching for profit should be using Edge Boost. Yeah,
he does. He's got a big bankroll, so a lot of rewards there for sure.
Indeed. Lynn, more than he'd like to admit. Yeah, well, we've all been there. So.
That's true. It all happens.
All right, Cody. Well, then, let's start setting up some bets for this Food City 500 at Bristol, baby.
Let's get into it. It's Bristol, baby. I'm going to start with a head-to-head here. It might be a little bit surprising to everybody, but give me Chase Elliott over William Byron, minus 115 over on DraftKings. On the surface, you look at this and you think, oh, like, look at what William Byron just did last week. Like, he led 7,000 laps at Darlington, dominates the race, and he's a spring racing guy, right? He always does well. And right now of the two, he's generally better. He's the one that has a faster car and is more competitive during the races. Elliott, as we know and talk about a lot, gets good finishes, but he's not always up front dominating. But here at Bristol, I've really been super close lately. Chase Elliott, 4 in a row. And we actually only have 4 next-gen races at Bristol because of the dirt race being in here. 6 technically, but do not look at Bristol Dirt. That's a completely different track. Has nothing to do with regular Bristol. So 4 next-gen races to look at here. And then obviously you can go back farther than that. Another track that's fairly unique in there's not really a direct comp, so it makes it tough. Current form obviously can help as well. But Chase Elliott, 4 for 4 in the next gen car over William Byron. So that right there is pretty nice, right? He's actually beat him in 5 of the last 6 races here as well. And really they haven't even been that close. You go back to the fall race, Chase Elliott was 2nd place here. Byron was 17th last spring. One more asterisk to throw in there. Last spring's race was an absolute utter disaster, chaos, nightmare when it comes to betting. It was exciting and fun watching it for sure because that was the tire debacle. All of a sudden, tires were just wearing like freaking crazy. Nobody knew what was going on, and the whole race got flipped upside down, which was great, looked good. So sort of take last spring's, don't just look at last spring and be like, oh, that's what I'm doing. We're not going to get that again. It's the same tire compound, but there's going to be traction compound put down. They're going back to PJ1 this week, and it's not going to race like that. I think that it would be pretty far-fetched to actually see that happen again. So I just wanted to toss that out there. But last spring, 8th place for Elliott, 35th for Byron, beats him there. Before that, 7th place for Elliott, 9th place for Byron. A little bit closer there, but then a 2nd to a 3rd. Again, close, but Elliott still had the advantage. You finally get back to the one where Byron beat Elliott. Byron finished 3rd, but Chase Elliott led 125 laps. Kevin Harvick took him out. But the only thing that anybody remembers is Elliott going around and slowing down Kevin Harvick. But he was dominating that race. He was going to easily win that. That's really his one bad finish in the last quite a few races here. And then the race before that, the 7th for Elliott, 38th for Byron. So it's really been a domination for Elliott when it comes to Byron here. This is just one of the tracks where Byron's got some good finishes. You go back a little ways, a couple of 3rd places there, but the last 3 outings here have not been good for Byron. And Elliott really strong on this track, concrete track. He really loves those. Short tracks, he does well. Really good at Dover. That's kind of another comparison to this track as well. And Chase Elliott, on top of everything, won the All-Star race the one time that it was held here in recent history. So, I think this is a bit of a surprising head-to-head, but I like Chase Elliott over William Byron.
I like that they gave that one to us, though, because this isn't one that we normally get. You don't normally get the teammates like this against each other. This is at least the Hendrick teammates. So, yeah, this is a good catch.
And it's got them priced. They're both minus 115. And so you kind of look at it and you're like, I looked at it and I was like, well, I like Elliott, but Byron. And then you look into it and it's like, ooh, Byron's not very good here. So, yeah, this one really jumped off the board to me because I think that the books are hoping they're going to catch some people sleeping and they're going to be like, fuck yeah, give me Byron. When this track really says don't do that and let's take the Elliott side.
Well, and spoiler alert, Byron is nowhere on my card at all, except for maybe, not at all. There's not one spot where I wanted to. Again, I was like, man, he was so dominant last week, but then you look at his Bristols and you're like, I can't back him on this one. So I'm with you. David Maddox saying Denny wins again. Hang tight, David. We'll have some words to say about Denny Hamlin in a little bit. In the meantime,
he will come up a few times.
He will come up, a few times. I will say, though, that I'm going to go to another Hendrick Motorsports driver in Alex Bowman. He is paired up with Josh Berry, the belle of the ball lately this season, at minus 120. I don't know. Harrison Burton never got as much love as did Josh Berry in the first few races of his time with Wood Brothers. I get it. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying?
There's a good reason for that, right?
There is a damn good reason for that. But Josh Berry has turned some heads this season, right? And that's good for Josh Berry. That's what we were hoping for. I love Josh Berry. You know that. He started out the season pretty much kind of quiet with the 37th at Daytona, 25th in Atlanta, and 26th at Austin. But we all kind of knew he was growing into that 21. Then he comes out, 4th place at Phoenix, wins Vegas, 17th at Homestead, but that had some problems after he started on the outside pole. But been kind of a rough couple of weeks for the Josh Berry truthers out there. 32nd, 36th in the last couple of races. Let me tell you right now, Josh Berry truthers, it ain't getting any better for you. This is not a good track for Josh Berry, not only in the Cup Series where he's finished 12th and 29th in his 2 starts, but you go all the way back to his days of the Xfinity Series. He's had one race in which he's finished better than 30th, 35th even. 35th in 2021. He did finish 7th in 2022, but he returned the next year to finish 36th. So 2 of those were in the 8 car. One of them is in the 1 car. Not a good track for Josh Berry, all told. Like I said, it's been a great story for that 21 team. really just a rough go of it. That was a great paint scheme, by the way, last week, to watch that thing have to bow out the way it was. But this week, he is paired up against Alex Bowman, who over the last couple of races at Bristol has, of course, beaten Josh Berry. It's not really that hard to do. Alex Bowman, 9th place in the fall of last year after starting on the pole and leading for 34 laps, and then 4th place in the spring in this Food City 500 after starting 29th. So he had the speed to drive all the way up from 29th to 4th, and not to mention led 3 laps along the way. 13th in the fall of 2023. 32nd, unfortunately, crashed out of the fall of 2022, but 5th place in the 2021 race on the pavement. 16th. His average finish here, 18.9. It's not stellar. It's not going to get you probably a top 10. Maybe he will. I mean, he did it in the last couple of seasons, but I'm at least banking on a top 15 for Alex Bowman. I can't say the same about Josh Berry, as much as I want to believe short track racing and Josh Berry. He's great. Actually, he's great at short tracks, right? Altogether. He's not terrible at him. He's got in the Xfinity Series, he's actually got some wins on short tracks, but
this is a different short track. This isn't a traditional short track. It is a short track, but it very much races not like a true short track, which is what is his kind of discipline. So I like that. And actually, if I may, Rod, I'm just going to pile on with the Alex Bowman part of this, because I'm going to back on the top 10 train, plus 160 this week. And I'm getting back aboard. Avoided him last week. That seemed to be I had the outright because the number was big enough. And I thought that's one of those deals where sometimes you take a guy as an outright, but you don't take the top 10, you don't bet anything else, because it's like, if it work out, you could see how it works. It didn't work out. And yeah, it just didn't work out. But I'm back on it this week. 9th and 4th place finishes here last year, like you just touched on. Had a 13th place finish here back in September 23 as far as the new car goes. And then you touched on it. Really good finishes here. He's got, and coming into this season, or as far as to speak what he's done this year, top 10 in 5 of 8 races. So he started the race really good so far this season. You mentioned all the other stats. I do like him to finish ahead of Josh Berry, like you mentioned, and I like him to do so by finishing in the top 10 at plus 160. And then David just brought up Denny Hamlin. I'm also going to bring up Denny Hamlin, minus 130 for a top 5. If there is a week for, and I feel like we've got burned saying this before, but I'm going to say it anyways. If there's a week for things to be more chalky, this is the week of all the weeks. If you look at how a lot of these races have gone, it's not a lot of long shots. It's a lot of chalky stuff. You get the occasional Keselowski pops up and wins, Buescher pops up and wins that were longer shots, but a lot of Denny Hamlin, a lot of Kyle Larson, a lot of Christopher Bell, a lot of Chase Elliott, a lot of the same guys up front. Denny Hamlin has a 3.8 average finish in the next gen era here. That's not even to speak to how chalky this is, that's not even the best finish. Kyle Larson's is better than that. We'll talk about that in a few. But 3.8 average finish over the 4 races here in the next gen era. A 4th, 2 first-place finishes in the last 3. He led 163 laps here last spring during that tire debacle where he adjusted to things, yes. But then he came back in the fall, or rather the fall of 2023, where he had the other win. He led 142 laps that time. So tire debacle, things go crazy. Denny can lead a lot and win. Regular Bristol race, things don't go crazy. Denny can lead a lot and win. He's got 5 top 10 finishes in a row here. 7 of 9 in the top 10 here. 7 of the last 9 he's been inside the top 10. 4 race wins, and he is on fucking fire right now. I mentioned it last week when I took the same bet for the top 5. This is the 3 race. Like, if you're Denny Hamlin and you could pick 3 races, it's Martinsville, Darlington, Bristol. Win. Now we're going to Bristol here. Doesn't have to win, although we'll talk about that in a little bit. All he has to do is finish inside the top 5. He's got a 3.8 average finish. 3 in a row he's done it here, and he's on fire right now. Lil Joker saying Denny's his one and done pick this week. I love that. GDK saying thank you. You're welcome. But yeah, you look at it, and I was like, minus 130. It's a little more than I typically like to lay on a top 5, but the way that this has gone, and as good as he is right now, don't think about it. I'm just going to place it, and I think that it's worth it at minus 130. We can stretch to minus 120, minus 125 on some of these head-to-heads and matchups. You're taking him to just finish in the top 5, which he consistently does, and he's on fire. I love Denny Hamlin this week.
May have to get myself 11 against the world banner. That thing is
that thing's undefeated, 2-0. That fan gave it to him before the Martinsville race, and he's never lost with that. So
yeah.
Reverse the curse of the dog, I guess.
Well, and again, like you said, we are gonna talk about him a little more later on in the show. But I'm with you on everything about that. Like Denny Hamlin right now, and my brother texted me early today as we were getting ready for the show too. He says, hold on, he's like, before you start your show, I want to tell you that preemptively, he says, before your show tonight, I want to preemptively say this: any race Denny wins is automatically a bad race. I mean, Jeff Gluck knows a little something about that, but yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Denny Hamlin is the bell. Why am I bell of the ball today? What did I watch Beauty and the Beast? Like, I don't know. So yeah, whatever works for me. All right. I'm going to move on to my next bet, and I'm going to take a top 10 bet. ESPN, man, giving us some good numbers on these top 10s. Bet365 is too, but not everybody has Bet365. So if you have ESPN bet, it's plus 130 for Ross Chastain to be a top 10 car, plus 140 over there on ESPN bet. Ross Chastain, in terms of the Bristol NASCAR Next Gen average finishes on the heat chart there over at iFantasy Race, planted right there at 10th. 13.5 is his average finish over the Next Gen era, but a 10th place in the spring or the fall race rather of last year. 15th and 2030 missed out on back-to-back races there, but a 6th place in 2022. Look, Ross Chastain has actually been quietly okay this year, right? I mean, we expected a lot more from Ross Chastain than we've gotten, and it's a little bit frustrating, but he has 4 top 10 finishes in 8 races this year. And we talked about the diverse nature of all of these races, right? We short tracks, miles, super speedways, road courses, all kinds of crazy stuff that's been thrown at these drivers, and to still manage to have 4 top 10 finishes in 8 starts, including the last 2, by the way, and 3 of the last 4, be it Vegas, be it Martinsville, be it Darlington, right? I think that's a pretty decent track record over the last 4 races for him to be able to finish. And then, of course, at Homestead, that was not his day in Miami. But to come back and finish 6th and 7th in the next 2 races, knowing full well that he is among the top drivers in the sport when it comes to being inside of the top 10 on this track, to still be able to get plus money. Because if you look at the top, these odds for top 10s, woo, buddy, they're pretty doggy when it comes to guys like Larson and Hamlin and all the chalk.
The books agree it's going to be a pretty chalk week. I think that's why there was no, and JDK mentioned this in the Discord. I think that's why there was no hesitation poster and stuff this week, because they know it's going to be chalky. You just make chalk lines, and that's what they're rolling with.
Yeah. And again, I mean, with your Edge Boost card, you can place whatever bet you need to bet and feel comfortable with it, because they're not going to deny you. And if you want to go super heavy because you know it's going to be super chalky, then they won't question you. They'll just let you do it. But yeah, and this is where we're at. And Chastain, like I said, top 10 car, plus 130. He's just done it, right? And he's done it a time and time again. And he's on a roll of top 10 finishes this year. And he's been aggressive enough to find himself in the top 10 strategy wise and driving wise, but not overly aggressive to where he gets it his own way and actually wrecks himself out. So that's what I like, Cody. He struck a nice little balance in there that's finding some success and some consistency for Ross Chastain, which is going to make him better in the long run, and then hopefully teach him when to actually make more aggressive moves.
Yeah, he wasn't aggressive at all in the Xfinity Series race last week. So he's obviously learned a lot. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to argue against this one because he's been solid here, and I was actually surprised how good he's been lately. You look at like the last 4 races, he's got quite a few good finishes. It's been quietly, which I think is definitely a bonus for him. I'm going to sort of make a case against him in a little bit, but it's more about the other driver that is where I'm kind of going with that. So I don't love this one, but I don't hate it either.
Oh yeah? Well, guess what? I love it, and I love it a lot. So, all right. So that's a couple of different picks right now, but I would like to tell you right now that it is time for my underdog fantasy bonus pick. Underdog pick'em. You can play any sport and win up to 100K. I'm going to make this live right here in front of everybody because I want you to know that I'm giving you a pick right here. Okay. Let's pick some MLB, and I'm looking it up right now. And of course the phone is taking forever to load. All right. How about some, what do you like, Cody? Do you like any Houston games?
Aaron Judge, take the hires. Oh.
Aaron Judge, take the hire then. Yes. Aaron Judge, the local NorCal boy, whatever it is, just take the hire for that.
Yeah. Oh, you can get a higher half a home run at 1.54 times. Dude has like 47 home runs in the first 10 games. I made all those stats up, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, well, listen, man, anybody that's from Linden can smash the ball out of the park. So give me that as well. All right, that's it. In the meantime, sign up with our promo code RACESGPN. You're going to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code RACESGPN. Let's tell you about Rhythm as well. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. Plus, they've got models for NBA and golf. Picks so good, feels like cheating. Build your own model. It's simple and easy. And I love building me some models. You know that I'm still working right now on my NFL models. I really want to know which side of the Derrick Henry side to go on. I want to go over. Rhythm is helping me kind of figure that out. Plus, it's got some amazing deals going on. 25% off monthly subscriptions with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off of annual subscriptions with promo code SGPN50. That's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Full disclosure for the YouTube folks. There were new graphics loaded into the thing, and I haven't gotten them yet. I don't want to get yelled at for not using the right graphics, so I will use none instead.
Yes, way to go. Keep yourself out of trouble, Rod. I would like to find a little bit of trouble this week, and I think that this might be the one that nobody sees coming, which I pride myself in at times. I'm going to go to the top 10 market, 10-1. Give me Richard Stenhouse Jr. That's right. Rod has taken his headphones off. He's walked away. He is done. I believe he just quit the show, actually. So, now searching for a new co-host of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. But here's why I like Ricky Stenhouse. Now, I'm going to preface this with his results chart at Bristol is like a fucking roller coaster. He's either going to finish 33rd to 38th, or he's going to finish in the top 10. That's what we're looking for. Little joker saying I've officially lost it. I haven't, because you're going into this with no expectations. Look, if Ricky Stenhouse shows up and runs 33rd, fine. It is what it is. But he has the potential to finish in the top 10. That's what I'm looking for. And at the number, I like it. Now, Rod, this might surprise you a little bit. 8 races into the season so far, 25th place. Ricky Stenhouse has not finished worse than 25th all season. Super speedways, short tracks, intermediates, too tough to tames, road courses, 25th or better. That's not the most impressive thing ever. But for that team, new ownership, new everything, it's pretty good, right? So, but when you look at what he's done here, September of 23, had a 10th place finish here in the JTG car, nothing too impressive. If you go back to his time at Roush, which Roush not good here, or was not good in general during Ricky Stenhouse's time there, but he has a 4th place finish, a 9th place finish, a 2nd place finish, a 4th place finish, a 6th place finish, a 2nd place finish. Really, really good runs back in those days. And he's done it already in JTG equipment as well. He's a He's a concrete guy. Another guy like Chase Elliott. Really, when we go to concrete tracks, Chase Elliott and Ricky Stenhouse are the first 2 guys that jump to mind. They stand out specifically on this type of racing. So, I kind of call him my shot here. But he's gotten it done at Bristol a ton of times over his career. He's got what it takes to get it done. And at 10-1, so this, just to kind of how I went about this box, I'm about to give you Zane Smith top 10-1, because we're just going to keep playing it every week. And generally, I would play Todd Gilliland along with that. But I looked at Gilliland. It's not been overly impressive. And Stenhouse just kept kind of creeping back into my picture as I was looking through who do I want to add as my other long shot. So calling my shot on Richard Stenhouse this week. Give me that top 10 at 10-1. And then, like I just mentioned, Zane Smith, once again, 10-1. We're just going to continue to play this because at this point, why would we not? Shitty finish here in the spring. Don't care. It was the crazy tire race. And that's when he was sucking over there at Spire, that 71. They hadn't figured anything out. Toss it out. Don't even look at it. Come back here in the fall, 16th place finish. Zane Smith is consistently in that 11th to 20th place range. No, those are not top 10s, but if you're finishing there, top 10s are just around the corner. 12th place finish last week, so he didn't cash it for us, but goddamn, he keeps getting close. 16th the week before, 11th the week before. Horrible finish at 23rd at Vegas, but 9th at Phoenix, he did cash it for us there. He's been top 16 in 5 of 8 races so far this season. He's doing well. We only have the 1-2 races, I guess, to look back at Bristol last year, but 3rd and 2nd place finishes in the Truck Series 2 of his last 3 times here. Zane Smith, the perennial top 10 week after week, but for good reason, and he continues to get close. He hit it at Phoenix a couple of weeks ago, so running it back with Zane Smith, and then give me the Ricky Stenhouse at 10-1.
Yeah, I mean, Zane Smith is like that pull in the slot machine where it's like bar, nothing. You're like, son of a.
Oh, Caesar 54 checking in says, awesome. Late night bets before I head to MEPS tomorrow. Are you going into the military tomorrow?
Let's go, Caesar.
Buddy. If so, let us know what branch. Shout out to you for that. MEPS is, get ready for some old dudes to look at places you never wanted them to see. That's really the only thing I can tell you about MEPS.
You're gonna learn what duck walk is tomorrow.
And if you're not familiar with MEPS, Rod and I are both veterans. It's the military entrance processing station. Basically, that's where you go before they ship you off to basic training. Going in the Air Force, so he is a smart guy. Yep. Okay. We were in the Army and Navy, but we know that you're smart for that. So props to you there. But yeah, damn, that's awesome. Well, congrats on that. And have a lot of fun at that cushy basic training that they have there, and enjoy your MEPS trip tomorrow. Nick Fortune as well checking in. Good evening, Hot Rod and Sassy Cody. Hoping for another successful NASCAR betting weekend. Me too, Rod. That's sort of the goal around here.
So is Ricky Stenhouse, for that matter. And yeah, Caesar, by the way, I don't know how Air Force MEPS does it. Maybe they actually give you
I think it's all one MEPS. I feel like the Air Force guys were there too. They have to mix with the unwashed before they go to basic, and then everything is very nice for the Air Force from there on out.
That's the worst they'll ever get treated in the rest of their time. So I love it. Speaking of the worst they'll ever get treated, Ryan Priest was the worst he'd ever getting treated last week over there at Darlington. You start on the outside pole, drop like a rock, and end up finishing 20. I mean, there was so much chicanery, shenanigans, so much stuff going on over there.
I think you mixed a couple of metaphors there.
I mixed them all. Are you kidding me? I'm like a witch with a brew. I'm just mixing and mixing. But yeah, to start on the outside pole and then to have everything go wrong that could possibly go wrong for you, finish 26, that is terrible. But before that, Ryan Priest was a top 10 machine. We were hitting on him at least for 3 weeks in a row. 7th at Martinsville, 9th at Homestead, 3rd at Las Vegas. If you would like to place a bet on him for this week as a top 10, ESPN has him at plus 150. I mean, not only do I absolutely love this, but if you have 365, he's 2-1 for a top 10 finish there. Look, for this particular track, it's been kind of hit or miss for Ryan Priest. His average finish here is 14.3. So look, we saw last week, all it takes is for a caution to screw the whole world up, or a green flag stop to make everything insane for random people to finish in the top 10, or for good folks to continue to finish in the top 10. And for Ryan Priest, look, he's got 2 top 10 finishes in this. He's got a 9th place finish in the number 37 car in 2020 for JTG, a 7th place last fall in this Stuart Haas equipment that was going out of business. And then a 14th, a 12th, a 17th, a 12th. He's just almost like you're talking about with Zane Smith, circling the drain of a top 10 and just not quite punching it in. But we've also seen that, heaven forbid, he might be the best of the RFK cars this season. I know you guys have a soft spot for Chris Buescher. That's fine. I don't care. Brad Keselowski, I mean, he's probably telling me I need to retire as well, but he's probably feeling it right now as well. But look, he is performing. I think how we thought he should have been performing, and maybe even better in some cases for Ryan Preece. And he's been one of those guys that, as much as we keep saying this is going to be a chalky week, he's been chalky so far this season, right? Those top 10 finishes have been chalky. So 3 of the last 4 races, he's been inside the top 10. I don't think that's going to change this week, especially as good as he's been running. And at plus 150, I'll take that.
Yeah, I actually have to agree with you on this. I really like Preece yet again this week, and he's shown us a lot. Yeah, the result wasn't the greatest last week, but he's run really well, and like you said, he's done well here. I mean, the 7th place run in the fall, end of the Stewart-Haas era, didn't know where he was going, all that stuff, still a good run. 14th, 12th, 17th, 9th back in the JTG cars, 12th in the JTG car. And that was the second JTG car that they got rid of a long time ago. Like, he's run really well here. This has seemingly fit his style. Oh, by the way, RFK has been fucking lights out at this place. Busher, who we're going to talk about in a minute, has been really good here. Keselowski's been amazing here. So, yeah, I like this. And I'm going to actually go with you on this one. And I'm going to take him as the top finishing Ford at plus 850 for all those same reasons that we just talked about. Fords, again, to repeat what I say every week, it's kind of up in the air. Ryan Blaney, plus 140 is the favorite. Okay, have you seen how things have gone for Blaney lately? Super fucking fast. Dude has all the speed in the world. Pit crew has been ass. The engines have been shit. The luck has been horrible. So maybe they put it together this week and okay, fine, but it hasn't happened much lately. So that's the reason why this is okay. Keselowski, we just talked about it. It's been iffy. Joey Logano, go look at how many drivers average finishes better than Joey Logano in the next gen era. Hold on, I got to pull it up now because it was comical how far down the list Joey Logano was. In the next gen era, Joey Logano, there's only 39 cars entered in this race, Rod. In the next gen era at Bristol, Joey Logano is 41st in average finish. BJ McLeod is above him. Daniel Hemrick is above him. Eric Almirola is above him. Landon Castle is above him. Cody Ware, way above him. It's pretty sad for Joey Logano. But to the point of why this is wide open, Joey Logano's next to the list. Chris Buescher, we're going to be covered. We're going to talk about it in a second. Ryan Preece, he's next on the list. Then Josh Berry, you made a case against him already. Then it drops off a cliff to Cindric and Gregson. Gilliland, I talked about not even wanting to bet him on top 10. Top Ford is wide open like it is each and every single week. JDK coming in with the stats. They've been top Ford in 3 of the last 4 here. Thank you for that. Backing my story up. So, yeah, love the Priest top Ford. Also love the top 10 that you gave out. I probably would have given that out had you not taken it. Then I'm going to move over to the top Chevy market. This is not a market we touch on very often because there's a lot of Chevys. There's a lot of really good Chevys. But in leaning with my chalk picks, wow, this line got better. I have it on here at plus 130 or plus 105. Now I'm seeing plus 135. Give me Kyle Larson at the top of the board to be the top finishing Chevy. Here's my thoughts on this. First of all, Kyle Larson is fucking lights out at Bristol. I understand he wrecked 7 laps into last week. Sometimes that shit happen. That's the risk you always take with Kyle Larson. He's the best race car driver in the world. Sometimes he steps over the line 7 laps into the race, and for the 4th spring race in a row at Darlington, completely fucks everything up. We need to make a calendar reminder to remind us next year to just fade him in the spring race. But I'm not expecting that this week. You look at the Chevy group, not as strong this week, in my opinion. It's Larson at the top. Elliott's actually next on the list, who's good, who's going to be solid. I think he's going to have a good run, but he doesn't usually run with Larson, right? So we already know that. Byron, I talked about it earlier. Not been good here. Kyle Busch, he's not very far ahead of Joey Logano's name on that list. Alex Bowman, okay, yeah, we made the top 10 case, but is he going to be the top Chevy? Yeah. Ross Chastain, then you jump off a cliff to Michael McDowell. The top of the Chevy board, not as strong as it is most weeks this week. So I'm just going straight to the top of the board. Give me Kyle Larson to be the top finishing Chevy at plus 135. You could bet him at minus 130 to finish in the top 5, sure. But what if it's Hamlin, Bell, Blaney, Buescher, Keselowski? Boom, there's your top 5. Larson finishes 6th, 7th. Could still be the top Chevy, and you're getting at a better number. I think that's the way to attack a top finish for Larson this week. So plus 135. Rod, go ahead and mute your headphones real quick. We're going to, hey, it is 11 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, and I'm feeling frisky this week. You can get Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 100-1 to be the top finishing Chevy. I just made the case for why the top of the Chevy board isn't great. Something bad happens to Larson. Maybe Stenhouse just pops into the top 10, snags it 100-1. Let's fucking go. I'm all in on Stenhouse this week. I gotta go find his outright number and edit the rest of the. No, okay. I'm not betting Ricky Stenhouse to win the race. Don't worry. Don't tune out. 100-1 though for a guy that we made the case for the top 10. The Chevy group, in a general sense, this week should be a little bit weaker. I think that there's a case to be made. He squeezes into that top 10. Larson has a problem. Elliott has trouble on pit road. Suddenly there's no Chevrolets up there. It's all Toyotas and Fords. Stenhouse, holy shit, how do you do that? He's the top finishing Chevy at 100-1. You can make the case for it. That's what I like with those types of bets.
And you did make the case for it. Yeah, that's our moonshot.
And don't at me when he finishes 37th on Sunday because he's not supposed to be good. But he can be. That's all that matters.
It's our moonshot of the week. That is because brought to you by NASCAR Gambling Podcast After Dark. All right, I'm sticking closer to the chalk. I'm going to take Chase Elliott as a top 3 car plus 250 over on ESPN Bet. Cody laid out the entirety of the. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I want to go back to Joey Logano real quick. We're talking about Joey Logano's finishes 28th, 22nd, 34th, 27th since 2022. Just putrid finishes. There's no Joseph Logano love this week for us at all. But anyways,
Joey Logano's winning this race now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not covered if that happens, but I don't care. If he does, shit, we're all good. All right, Chase Elliott again, top 3. I wanted to go top 5. I felt like that was probably a decent, but then I like plus 250 for a top 3. He did it last year, right in the fall, finishing 2nd. He did it in 2022, finishing 2nd, a 7th and an 8th. Those aren't top 3 finishes. I completely understand that, but for Chase Elliott, Cody talked about him earlier. It doesn't make sense to me that a top 3, something that he's done a couple of times already. And in fact, he is 7th overall in speed rankings. He is the 3rd best driver in terms of average finish in the next gen era at 4.75, which is 1.75 outside of the top 3. I mean, he's behind Larson and Hamlin, who are essentially 3rd place finishers week after week after week, but you're not getting them at plus 250 to finish inside of the top 3, but you are getting Chase Elliott, who is just outside of that number to get into the top 3 at plus 250. I don't feel like I have to explain gambling to you guys out there to understand that, I get it. I get it that he could not because he's only averaging 4.75 and not 3. But if he was averaging 3.15 tie or 3.15 in his average finishes, he'd be priced like that. So you're trying to find value when you're placing these bets. And a guy that is just outside of the top 3, finishing at the top 3 at plus 250, I mean, it almost feels like the kind of bet that you have to make, because when he does go out there, and he's been so damn close this season to being really, really good, right? We've seen Chase Elliott actually kind of have some good races put together. He's got 5 top 10 finishes in 8 races, 2 top 5 finishes so far this season. That 4th place at Coda and the 4th place at Martinsville, right, where he led 42 laps in that race and started on the outside pole. He finished 8th last week at Darlington, 10th at Phoenix. His average finish, 11.1. It's not like we're saying that a guy that's averaging a 20th place finish is going to suddenly get a 3rd place finish. No, this is one of the best drivers in the sport, and he shouldn't be plus 250 to finish inside of the top 3. So give me Chase Elliott, top 3, plus 250.
Yeah, I love a good Chase Elliott bet. I was hoping his outright was a little bigger this week. They just got him. He's just too low to make me want to get on him. But this is probably the best way if you're looking for a way to get in on Mr. Chase Elliott. So I'm rarely going to argue with a Chase Elliott bet. Rod, I'm going to give you a warning this time because I don't want you to be scared. Don't be scared. I feel like we've had Rod. You look very zen there, Rod. So I'm glad you were not scared. I'm glad you were zen. We've rode the Chris Buescher car lift quite a few times this season, and we're running it back again this week. We're going to start with a head-to-head. DraftKings has got him against Ross Chastain at -125. I love this. I know you made the case for the Chastain top 10 earlier, but Buescher has been really good here. Top 7 in 3 of the 4 next-gen races. Led 169 nice laps in 2022 on his way to victory. 4th in 23, 7th in 24 spring race. Had good runs here, and he's been running really good lately. 6th place last week, 6th at Miami, 5th at Phoenix. 4 top 7s in the last 6 races. You got to love that. When you break it down over Chastain got him here in the fall. That's the one time he did get him. 14th for Buescher, 10th for Chastain, but then 7th for Buescher, 15th for Chastain, 4th for Buescher, 23rd for Chastain, a win for Buescher, 6th place for Chastain. So he's beat him in 3 of the last 4 here at Bristol. He's beat him in 5 of the last 6. Those are the only, it's been more than that, but I stopped past Ross Chastain, not in the 42 car, back to the 15. I'm not going to count those against him. So 5 of the last 6 since Chastain's been in competitive equipment. And Buescher this season, 2 of the last 3 he's been better than him. 4 of the last 6 he's been better than Chastain. So give me Buescher over Chastain as the first leg. The top 10 plus 160. Will they ever learn? This has been plus money for week after week after 6th last week, 6th at Miami, 5th at Phoenix. He just keeps getting it done. Keep playing this each and every week if they're going to give it to us. Top 4 to 1. Just made the case with the top 4 deal and how weak it is at the top of the board. Love Buescher a lot this week. Actually like him more than Priest. But I like having both the skin in the game on both of those guys. And then we're going to ride that car lift all the way to the top. 33 to 1 to win for Chris Buescher. Love me some number 17 this week.
Yeah. I just don't.
How can you be down on Chris Buescher? He's been printing us money all season long. I mean, you just bet his top 10 every single week. And it cashes and it catches. And then you also hit in the top 4 every once in a while, and you're hitting the top 5s. And the win is coming. He's won here a couple of years ago. He's been strong. Big one for Chris Buescher this week.
All right. I'll let you have Chris Buescher. You've let me have a lot of them that should not have been letting me have. So I'll let you have some Chris Buescher this week.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Not as if you need my permission to do any of that. Speaking of which, I may need your permission to go ahead and do this one. I'm going to take the winning car number again, but I'm going to take okay, let me lay out the landscape for you before I kind of give you where I'm at. Because this is what the show's about, right? It's about the thought process on why we give you the bets, not just the picks, or else we'd be running just the picks, which we don't. Caesars has this winning car number 0 to 7 plus 320. I get that. I'm okay with that, but like at the same token, it leaves out one guy that I think could win this one underneath that. Then it's got 16 to 24 plus 185. That is the one where you get the bell, right? You probably Buescher. You get these guys. Then 25 plus 500. There's a reason for that. And then 8 to 15. This is that one where they switched you on you again. Plus 175. Grr. I mean, this is the most frustrating line that you could possibly give us all. So I was like, I'm staying away from the number bands. Then they gave the over-under at 10.5. But they juiced the over at minus 270. I can't take that. Then they give you 16.5. Thanks, Caesars. But then they juiced the under at minus 135. I can't do that. And then they give you 19.5, which is like, hey, great. But then they juiced the under at minus 185. Oh, for the love of God. Fine. Here's what I'll do. I will take the under 10.5 at plus 220. What does that give me? It gives me Ross Chastain, which, I don't necessarily think can win this race, but we've talked about how good he's been lately and how he's been a top 10 car and competitive at Bristol. It gives you long shot guys like Cindric and Dillon and Gragson who are in conversations. They're not always winning conversations, but they're in conversations some weeks. But it gives you Kyle Larson. That gives you coverage on Kyle Larson too. but it also gives you Brad Keselowski. And here's the thing. We talk about how good RFK has been at this track. Look, Brad Keselowski, average finish of 12.5 on this track. Chris Buescher, 6.5 on this track. But you talk about just overall being good at this track. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an RFK type of a track. So it gives you that just in case he accidentally ends up winning. Obviously, it gives you Kyle Busch.
There it is. We found it. We were wondering in the disc. I was trying to figure out how did Kyle Busch make the graphic when he wasn't on the bet sheet? He is on the bet sheet. There it is.
100% on the graph. Yeah, because this is it. Kyle Busch, statistically speaking, on this particular track is by far one of the better runs.
Oh, good.
Let me read you his stats. All right.
Good.
36 starts, 8 wins, 14 top 5s, 19 top 10 finishes. I mean, it's insane to think that Kyle Busch, but you want to talk about Joseph Logano's finishes in the next gen average. Let me talk about Kyle Busch's finishes. 34th, 20th, 25th, 25th. Insert puke noise here, I believe was JDK.
JJ Yaley has a better average finish in the next gen.
It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But anyways, so 10.5 gets you Kyle Busch if he accidentally ends up winning this one, but he also gets you Chase Elliott. So for me, it's like, if I think Chase Elliott's going to be a top 3 car, and I know Kyle Larson's going to be a top 3 car, then give me those two guys. I don't have to pick. And at plus 220, I feel like that's a good enough number to kind of hedge my bets on that one.
Yeah, because you're adding Hamlin into betting him, and then you're also getting all these guys underneath 10.5. I love this. Again, I think that it's a pretty small pool this week of guys you can get. Little Joker wants to point out that it gets you Ty Dillon. Hey, you laugh and joke.
It's
the
true.
DFS darling that is Ty Dillon almost won at Phoenix a couple of weeks ago if he wouldn't have I think he sped on pit road at the end when he had the fresh tires. But
he was surprised that he was going fast and he tried to go faster.
I could see why he would be surprised by that. But I do like this, and I think really if you've listened to the show for a while, obviously we're over 600 episodes into it, but usually I've got this long list of winners. I don't this week. I gave out Buescher as part of the car lift. There's only 2 guys in my winners box this week, probably the lowest that it's ever been, because personally I think you just bet Denny Hamlin. I think you bet Kyle Larson. You could probably call it a day if you just take those 2 guys, if we're going to be completely honest. One of those options was taken away from me, so I'll try not to spoil Rod's pick. But give me Kyle Larson plus 490 over on FanDuel. Get the early, get it often. He is really fucking good here. We talked about it with the Top Chevy part of things, but he's just his average finish here in the next gen. I talked about Denny Hamlin's being at 3.8 and being really good. Well, Larson's average finish here is 3.3 in the next gen car. It is insane. His finishes here in the 5 car, he's got 5 starts: 1st, 5th, 2nd, 5th, and 1st. You go back to the 42 car, 16th. Oh my God, a horrible 19th place finish. 2nd in the 42 car, 2nd in the 42 car, 9th place, 6th place. He fucking loves this place. He's been top 5, 7 of the last 9 here. Top 10 and 10 of the last 11. He's got a lot of tracks where there's variables. We saw it last week. Things can happen. Things can go wrong. He is really fucking good at this track. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder after wrecking out last week. He is in the truck race, minus 125 to win. He's in the Xfinity race, minus 150 to win. And he's the favorite in the Cup race. Caesars won't even let you parlay it because they're that scared of it. It says ineligible for parlay when I just tried to do it, because he's going to be really good this week. So you just play Larson at plus 490. I love that. And then I've been calling my shot. I said this was going to be his first win. Give me Tyrone Gibbs, 25 to 1. This is the only place on the card I'm putting him. He cashed the top 10 for us last week. I don't know that I'm fully sold that he's here, but this has been the race. I've said I was going to bet on it. I'm sticking to my word. Had the 10th place finish last week. He was 13th the week before, so a little bit better and better, right? He was 15th place here in the fall, 9th last spring where he led 137 tire race again, but 5th place in the fall of 23 where he led 102. He's been really good here. Gibbs has been good here. The last time he was in an Xfinity car, won stage 1, led 89 laps, got in a wreck, unfortunately, and wasn't able to finish the race, but looked good, looked fast. Lil Joker's putting $54 on the 54 this weekend. Let's fucking go. Ty GIbbs gets his first career win. All the talk, everything's going to turn super fast because it's holy shit. Welcome to the club, kid. Let's fucking go, Tyrone Gibbs.
Or he doesn't win. And I'm right again, in which Ty GIbbs is still going to get
that's the most likely outcome when he's 22-1, Rod. Yes. But when he does win, I'm going to rub it in all you motherfuckers' faces.
Please do. Please. Because you know me. Listen, I am consistently wrong in my house.
I'm going to take a monster energy drink shower on the show if Ty GIbbs wins this weekend.
If you don't, I will be highly disappointed. But I'll tell you this. I have a wife and 2 daughters. I am always wrong. So if I'm right on this show, it makes me feel good about myself every once in a while. So I absolutely love it. But yeah, I mean, I love the 54 on 54 this week. That's Rod, keep the same energy when he wins. I will 100%. I will.
He's just gonna come up with like a bunch of excuses and like, oh, I know he led 200 laps, but it wasn't really that impressive. He just had clean air. Like,
no.
It's a fluke win.
I'll blame the Bike Dog Dueling Saxes that I've been drinking tonight. It's an 8.5 point West Coast IPA. I love it to death. But yeah, no, listen, it's fine. That's fine. Ty GIbbs, fine. We'll give you that one. But you know what? When I talk about being right, I was right last week on Denny Hamlin. It was almost a shot in the dark because he hadn't won there in 10 years. It had been a very long time. Denny Hamlin, everybody's villain, right? Everybody loves it. It's 11 against the world. How he can't win back-to-back. How about Christopher Bell? Can't win back-to-back-to-back. We've seen this season, right? Where guys are starting to rip off wins consecutively, and it just out of nowhere. And it just so happens to be another Gibbs driver, which, by the way, you know me, I'm a JRM guy in Xfinity, but I guess I got to be a Gibbs guy over here in the Cup Series, don't I?
Did you say you're a Gibbs guy, Rod? Could I interest you in some Ty GIbbs?
No, I'm sorry. That real estate is too expensive for me, and I don't want to move my family into that kind of a neighborhood. But no, listen, it's Denny Hamlin plus 490. Cody just said it. You either bet Denny Hamlin or Kyle Larson, or you do both. I don't know. Put $11 on the 11 car at plus 490 because, look, if anybody can do this, right? There's some guys that you don't want to let heat up at the 3-point line, right? You don't want to let Steph Curry get hot at the 3-point line because he's just going to keep sinking them on you. It doesn't matter if you wash his face. It doesn't matter if you try to trip him Street Fighter style. Like, it doesn't matter.
His face. What?
Face washing. Isn't that the term in back?
Okay.
All right, listen.
I don't think I've ever heard of it called wash his face, but
just before this show,
that's what the kids are saying these days. Then we'll go with it.
But you want to talk about making me old? I was just listening to Hall & Oates before the show. Okay, I had my record player on, listening to Hall & Oates. So if I say washing his face, then that's just what the kids are gonna have to say.
Boy.
But no, there's guys that you don't want to let heat up. Denny Hamlin is proving to be one of those guys. It doesn't matter that he's 47,000 years old. He's actually driving like a youngster again. And I almost feel, Cody, that he feels like a youngster again. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to not place this bet considering the fact that Denny Hamlin, like you said, average finish 3.75, second only to Kyle Larson on this track. You look at him, and as far as the heat chart, he's the third in total speed rankings, according to our friends at iFantasy Race. He is second in the next gen driver rating on this. Honorable mention to Christopher Bell. He's first in pretty much all of these, most of the big fast ones, but his average finish on this track is 5.5. We're not talking about him to win because it's just been disappointing for him. Like, he's been fast, but not fast enough.
The guy with 3 wins, very disappointing this season.
The last couple races then. He's been fast, but not fast enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what it's all about for him. Since he started to rip off those wins, it's hard to win more than that when you start to get that good.
Yeah, he's going to be kind of just the one chalk play that I leave myself exposed on. He's around 6-1. But yeah, my plan for outrights this week, I'm betting both Hamlin and Larson. That is not something, if it's your first time listening, we don't generally just tell you to go bet the top guys. It's very rare that happens. If there's a weekend this season, I believe that it is this weekend. I'm going to bet both those guys. I'm going to have my insurance plays on Buescher and Gibbs just in case. I could not make a case for any longer shot. And look, you know me, I made a case for Ricky Stenhouse to be the top finishing Chevy. I love making a case for a long shot, but it's hard to do this week. And I think that we're going to see it be kind of these big dogs up front, and that's where I want my money to be.
Did you make a case for Stenhouse? I blacked out at that instance. Like, I feel like
I believe you didn't have your headphones on, so you might not have heard the case.
That makes okay, because like I said, I must have skipped. I know that most podcatchers get you just skip that. But, all right, I'm just kidding. All right, get out your pen and paper. We are going to go over our bets for this Food City 500, and we've got the graphic today. I had plenty of time to make it, so if you are on YouTube, you can screenshot the graphic. I started you out with Alex Bowman over Josh Berry, minus 120 over there on ESPN. Then I followed it up with Ross Chastain as a top 10 car. If you have ESPN bet, it's plus 130. If you got bet 365, it's plus 140. So grab that as well. Ryan Preece, top 10 car, plus 150 on ESPN. I'm not sure by the time you get there that it'll be plus 200 over on 365. So go grab that if you're listening live. Make sure you hit that, because I don't know that it'll be anywhere near that when you wake up in the morning. Elliott, top 3 car at plus 250 over on ESPN. I took the winning car under 10.5 at plus 220, said my Hail Marys, and hope that it hits. And then, of course, Denny Hamlin to win another race this season at plus 490. He's just too hard to ignore at this track. You really have to consider him when you get there. Cody started you out with Elliott over Byron at minus 115 in a battle of teammates. He said Denny Hamlin would be a top 5 car at minus 130. Alex Bowman, a top 10 car at plus 160. Am I reading that? Ricky Stenhouse as a top 10 car at 10. I'm going to give you a ton of shit, Cody. You know this. At 10-1. Zane Smith, also a top 10 car at 10-1. Ryan Preece to be the top Ford and assert his dominance over the Blue Ovals at 9-1. Larson, top Chevy, plus 135 now. That is where it's at. Ricky Stenhouse to be the top Chevy at 10-1. He's riding the Buescher car lift over Chastain at minus 125. Top 10 at plus 160. Top Ford at 7-1. And to win at 33-1. He's also giving you Kyle Larson to win at plus 490. And Tyrone Gibbs should take home his first checkered flag in the Cup Series at 25-1 at the Bristol Motor Speedway at the Food City 500. Cody, it's time to just start setting those cards, my friend.
It is. I just set a reminder on my phone. Pick up some Monster cans this weekend, because we're going to have us a party. Maybe even get a recap show if Ty GIbbs wins. That might be what does it. Even if Rod's busy, I'll just jump on live, celebrate with my Monsters. We'll see.
You know, it's funny. I drank Monster like a couple of times, but my favorite was the amp, the red cherry amp. That was my favorite one of all time. And then they stopped manufacturing it.
Well,
so
Dale Jr. amp makes sense. I do have. Whoa, there we go. I got a Monster Gronk can. Well, if I can find the camera, Gronk Monster can here. So yeah, big Patriots fan. I will not be drinking that. No, I'm waiting for the liquid to eat its way through the can eventually and spill all over my desk, but that's okay.
Your daughter's going to absolutely love everything you leave behind for her. Like,
yeah,
oh my God.
She's just going to, my dad was a hoarder and she's going to probably just burn the house down. So that's fun.
We're going to see Cody on an episode of Hoarders. Like, Cody, does this Monster can bring you joy?
It actually does. I look at it and I think about those 6 Super Bowls every time and it fills my heart.
All right. Well, it is definitely past midnight on the East Coast. So for those of you who have stayed up with us, thank you so much for doing so. For those of you who have no clue what we're talking about, we still absolutely love you because you listen to us whenever the hell you feel like it. And that's the way we listen to podcasts too. So, all
exactly. All right, Rod. Yeah, let's get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Trucks and Xfinity Series picks. We already got some odds up for that. So excited to talk about that. Larson's going to be doing the triple header again this weekend. Once again, pursuing that sweep. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And we'll finish it up with fantasy on Thursday. So make sure you join us. In the meantime, follow me over on the X at Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff over there. See you guys tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in the bio, everything I got going on. I'll be chopping it up with Seth and Elliot tomorrow on the back road as we talk about Bristol as well. And then, listen, I've been working very hard lately. I've been writing about darts. I've been writing about UFL. I've been writing about Call of Duty. It's all up on my Twitter right now. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun. I love the world of sports, and I love writing about everything that I can. So I've been trying to make slow improvements on that special secret place. But, yeah, go find those links over there on Twitter. We will see you tomorrow. Like Cody said, hey, we promise that we'll try to stick close to the posted time this time around. But, yeah, hopefully you find us, and we'll see you tomorrow. So until then, everybody, let's go racing and let it ride.